Alright, welcome to our next lesson. And this lesson is based on factorization of quadratic expressions. Factorization of quadratic expressions. Now, when we're factorizing quadratic expressions, remember in our last lessons, we multiply binomials to get quadratic expressions. When we're factorizing quadratic expressions, we want to write that or change it from the quadratic expression to the binomial form. We're changing from the quadratic expression to the binomial form. And there are about four steps we need to take in order to do this. And I will encourage you to write down these four steps. Step 1, we multiply A and C. Step 1, multiply A and C. Step 2, find two numbers whose product is the answer you got with AC and whose sum is equal to B. So what I say, the answer you get when you multiply A and C, we have to find two numbers. When we multiply that, we get that answer, and then when we add it up, we get the value for B. And we're going to see it in the examples a little later. Step 3, rewrite the expression. Rewrite the expression. And step 4, factorize completely. Step 4, factorize completely. So let us do an example so that we can apply the steps into that we learned with the examples. Let's take the first one. X squared plus 8x plus 15. And we have to factorize this expression. What we intend to do is get it back as two binomial expressions. Now let us go with step 1. Step 1 says multiply A and C. So in this case, A is equal to 1 and C is equal to 15. A is equal to 1 and C is equal to 15. So A times C is equal to 15 ones will give us 15. Right? A times 1. A times C will be 15. Now, so the next step says that we have to find two numbers that when we multiply we get 15. When we multiply we get AC. So we have to find two numbers. When we multiply they must equal to 15. And when we add them it must be equal to B. What is B in this case? B is 8. B is equal to 8. So when we add the two numbers, the same two numbers that you have for AC, that answer must be 8. Now, what I would encourage you to do is start by finding the two numbers to multiply to get 15. What two numbers can I multiply to get 15? Now, you might be saying, okay, we just multiply 1 and 15 and we got 15. Now, that is absolutely correct. 1 times 15 will give us 15. But when we add 1 and 15, we don't get 8. 1 times 15 will give us 15, but 1 plus 15 is not equal to 8. So we have to try another two numbers. Let's see if we could find another two numbers to multiply to get 15. And I know that we know our tables, our multiplication tables that we would use to recite in primary school. So, what two numbers can we multiply to get 15? That's correct, 3 and 5. 3 5s will give us 15. And then when we add 3 plus 5, it will give us 8. So those are the two numbers that we need. Now, the third step says rewrite the expression. How are we rewriting this expression? Now we notice that 3 plus 5 will give us 8. So where we see 8 here, 8x, what we're going to write for 8x is 3x plus 5x. 3x plus 5x is the same as 8x. So we will write this expression as x squared plus 3x plus 5x plus 15. Right? So what we're doing, we're rewriting the value of b in terms of the sum of these two numbers. So we have 8x squared plus 3x plus 5x is equal to 15. So I know some of you are thinking, what if I put the 5x here and the 3x there? No problem. Eventually, we will have the same answer. So what do? Our fourth step says to factorize completely. We will group and factorize completely here and here. So what is our common factor here? Here our common factor is x. Right? And when we factor out x squared divided by x will give us x. 3x divided by x will give us 3. And here our common factor will be 5 plus 5. 5x divided by 5 will give us x. And 15 divided by 5, will give us 3. Now, what we observe is that our two brackets are the same. Once our two brackets are the same, we know that we're going on the right track. So, once our two brackets are the same, we are heading in the right direction. If they're not the same, we have to recheck our answer. So, we have here x times x plus 3 plus 5 times x plus 3. So what we do, if the brackets are the same, what we do, we put the factors in one bracket. We put the factors in one bracket and make the other bracket with the 3, the x plus 3. So we have 5 plus x plus 5, that's our factors, and then we write back x plus 3. And what you can do, just to check and see if it's correct, is multiply it like when we were doing the binomial expressions, and we will see, we will get back our quadratic expression. Now, let's do another one. Let's try x squared plus 3x minus 10. X squared plus 3x minus 10. First thing, multiply a and c. Here a is equal to 1 and c is equal to negative 10. So a times c, 1 times negative 10 will give us negative 10. So we need two numbers that when we multiply we get negative 10, and when we add we get positive 3. Multiply, we get negative 10, and add, we get positive 3. Now, I hope you remember that when we were doing the binomial expressions, we said that if we have a negative here, if c is negative, it means that one number is positive and the other is negative. For c to be negative, one number must be positive and the other negative. So let's see what two numbers, one being positive and one being negative, that when we multiply them we get 10, and when we add them we get positive 3. So what two numbers can we think of? Now we know 1 times negative 10, yes, but when we add those two numbers we won't get positive 3. So let's try another two numbers. We have 5 times 2 will give us 10. But remember that one must be positive and one must be negative. Alright? So now notice also that the b is positive, and we said in our last when we were doing multiplication of binomials, if b is positive, it means the larger one will be positive. So the larger number 5 and 10, we'll take the larger number, which is 5, and make that will be positive. So 5, positive 5, and the smaller one will be negative 2. So 5 times negative 2 will give us 10, and 5 plus negative 2 will give us 3. So we have our b value. Then we rewrite it. We rewrite the expression. So we have x squared plus 5x minus 2x take 10. Yes, and yes, it is okay if you have put your negative 2 there and your positive 5 there. You will get the same answer. So let's group and factorize. Our common factor here is x. So we factor out our x. X squared divided by x will give us x. 5x divided by x will give us 5. Then our common factor here, now if the value here, this coefficient here is negative, we take the value the factor must be negative. So we take negative 2. Negative 2x divided by negative 2 will give us positive x. And negative 10 divided by negative 2, and negative divided by a negative will give us a positive 5. So our brackets are the same. And we put our factors in one bracket. So we have x minus 2 in one bracket, x plus 5 in another bracket. And we have it in our binomial form. So what we will do in our next lesson, we will do some more examples of factorization of quadratic expression. So remember the 4 steps. Step 1, multiply A and C. Step 2, find 2 numbers that when you multiply, you get AC, and when you add, you get the value of B. Step 3, rewrite the quadratic expression. And step 4, factorize completely. I'm looking forward for you to do some examples, check them, and in our next class, we will do some more examples of the factorization of quadratic expressions. See you next class.